Welcome to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome into Jets Game Day. Eric Allen alongside Bart Scott and Brian Baldinger. We have a special show in store for you today because we're going to hear from interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich in our spotlight. Speaking of the Jets interim head coach, it's time for his team to string some wins together on the season's back half as it starts here this weekend against the Arizona Cardinals.
It won't be easy. This team is a tough, hard-nosed team. They run the ball downhill. They want to be physical, and they're going to force you to tackle. And James Conner is one of the best in the business. He's the head of the snake, and that's the guy you got to attack.
The Jets have to ride that momentum they got in the second half against the Texans out in the Mountain West against the Cardinals.
And it's not going to be easy, like Bart said. This is a scrappy team. They've earned their 5 wins. They're in first place. They just made a move in the trade deadline, so everybody in that locker room's like, okay, we're all in. They've got a foundation that they're building on right now.
All right, we think about the air when we talk about the Jets and the Cardinals, but let's go to the ground. Arizona, so far this season, averaging 5.32 yards a carry. That's second in the National Football League. And James Conner leading the way. He's averaging 4.5 yards a clip. Let's get into film presented by Moody's.
Well, here we go. Here they are in a pistol formation. That means James Conner line's right behind Kyler Murray. They love to run inside traps and zones, okay? Like on this play right now, this is going to be a trap. He's coming to trap here. They're double teaming here up to the linebacker, and then here comes McBride on the linebacker. So when you watch this play right here, this is a basic play. Now, like this is James Conner. Like he runs through contact. All right, now watch. Watch the yards after contact. Like he's going to find the daylight, and then he's going to go forward, and he's going to push the pile. Like that's their type of running game right now. It's hard-nosed. They're going to make you tackle.
Yeah, he reminds me of Edgerrin James, always falls forward. You never see him take a step back. And what's going to happen is if you look at that play and you break that play down, that's a double-double basically, right? Because they're bringing 4 to block 2 on one side, influencing one of the other defenders as they get up to the other guy. And what you see late in that film is it's a linebacker that comes from Chicago from the left side really, really late. They made him walk out with formation so that the receiver can make him adjust. So he couldn't get there, and he came so fast, he overran it. Got to stay inside out.
Look, once they get the running game going, they have a play-action pass off every run that they have. For example, like here is a counter tray where they're going to block back here, they're going to pull Cologne in the tight end and fake it here to James Conner, all right? So they fake it to Conner now, and then Kyler's going to bootleg out. All right, now watch the Bears here as they just react to the fake. Now Kyler's out here, and he's got all that space out here to be able to throw the ball right now to their number 1 receiver, Trey McBride, who's a good athletic tight end, and he's a guy that has got a lot of yards after the catch as well.
All right, I want to flip it to the other side, though. James Conner, 7th in the National Football League in yards from scrimmage. The Jets have a dynamic back in their own right, Breece Hall, 8th in the National Football League in yards from scrimmage, and he can beat you running the ball and catching it.
The Jets have the ability to get their running game going. They like both backs. You got Braylon Allen right here. You've got Breece Hall right here. I like this play right here because on it, you're going to fake it to Braylon Allen going this way. You're going to block down with Tyler Conklin and get Tyron Smith out here and then pitch this ball to Breece Hall. So it's a fake underneath and then the pitch to Breece. Now you get Tyron Smith out there, Davante's blocking. Now you get him in the moving sidewalk, up in the alley right here, where he can do damage, where he can break away from defenders once you get him in the alley.
I would still like to see them run him downhill a little bit more consistently. You can never have enough Breece. More Breece, please.
Well, what we got coming up is more Jeff Ulbrich. After his first victory as head coach of the New York Jets, he sat down with our own Ethan Greenberg. That's our Jet Spotlight around the corner.
Brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets.
Through all the adversity, guys, you guys stayed together. Let's go. And you kept fucking working. And we leaned on each other. We didn't let the outside noise and world fucking divide us. It made it tighter. We got everything we need. We said it last night multiple times. We're all we got. We're all we need, man. That's it. That's it. Let's go, family, on 3. 1, 2, 3, family!
How would you describe what this past month has been like for you?
A tornado. Yeah, it's been very challenging, exciting, hard in a lot of ways. Not just the new challenges, but there's an element of losing Coach Saleh that was It was hard for me from the standpoint of our relationship is so close. It's been exciting and positive in some ways too, just because of this amazing coaching staff and this amazing roster that we have here. From that standpoint, I could not ask for anything else. It's just been unwavering support, even in moments where we haven't played necessarily the best football, and I've always felt like everyone was behind me. So that's made it a very positive experience.
If this past month has been a tornado, what have you, A, learned about yourself, and B, is there anything that was a bit of a surprise to you that maybe you didn't recognize was a part of the head coaching duties?
I think that, especially the longer you coach, especially within this league, like you have an idea of what that seat might feel like and the responsibilities that come with it. And it's definitely been maybe more of a challenge than I thought it would be. Still saying that, I think it's a challenge that I'm up for, that I can absolutely attack and hopefully get the best out of this team and this coaching staff.
Like, I gotta imagine you probably feel like you're rounding into form, having a couple games under your belt and an extended rest, which is really just like a couple days in the real world, but in the football world, that's like a long time.
There's no doubt. Yeah, I would say from my first game against Buffalo to now, much more comfortable with the roles that I'm assuming. That first game especially was a challenge. It was a challenge managing the game from a head coach perspective and still calling the defense and making sure that neither was neglected.
I gotta imagine that the vibes, obviously after the game on Thursday night, pretty high. Heading into this week, how do you go about trying to carry that momentum and trying to start fast coming out of the extended rest?
Yeah, I think there's so much power to momentum, to just the positivity that surrounds a win. We'll definitely utilize that in preparing for this next game. There's nothing like that positive juice that a win can create. But at the same time, acknowledging that there's so much more out there for us.
Are you able to put your finger on what was different about the second half against the Texans that maybe was missing, not just in the first half of that game specifically, but sporadically throughout the first 9 games of the season?
When you struggle in anything in life, there's undoubtedly this human nature of questioning yourself in some ways. I think sometimes it takes just a little success, and that little success can spark some more success and a little bit more confidence and a little bit more momentum. And it goes back to the character of this locker room. We have so many guys that want to win and be successful so badly, not just for themselves and their own legacy, but for the team and for the organization, for the fan base, for everything. And I say this a lot, but trying too hard is just as dangerous as not trying hard enough sometimes. And I think there was an element of pressing. Saying that, in the second half, we took a deep breath and started to let the plays come to us and just execute the plan and trust our fundamentals and our training, and good things started to happen.
I don't think a lot of fans or media analysts necessarily thought that Arizona would be sitting atop their division 5-4. Just what have you seen on film from them, and what do you think is maybe like an overlooked part of their game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a deep dive right now from a defensive perspective, obviously trying to get our game plan together. This is going to be maybe the biggest challenge we face this year. I was not expecting, I didn't know what to expect, to tell you the truth, of their offense. Immediately what jumps out is this run game. They are running the game more efficiently than any team in the NFL right now, and it's a problem. We're gonna have to play our best ball to slow this run game down, and then those opportunities when they have to throw the ball and they put it in Kyler's hands, like he's a problem too, because he's a problem with not only with his arm and his decision making, because I think as a quarterback he's become so much better and he's become one of the top quarterbacks of this league. But at the same time, as we all know, when that breaks down, he has this element of athleticism and speed that is unrivaled right now as far as the quarterback position is concerned. So we're gonna have our hands full.
This exclusive interview was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Let's get into the matchup right now. Davante Adams, new Jets receiver in 3 games with the green and white, 14 receptions for 175 yards.
Yeah, but some are more important than others. Like this 4th down conversion here, 4th and 2. He's got a rookie corner outside here, right, Bart? Yep. So on the play, you see the corners playing inside leverage. Aaron sees that, Davante sees that. So he's going to put him right here on the release. the deep freeze. Right here, he's got the corner beat. Aaron right now is looking for this hole right here. And he knows that Davante, from experience, is going to be there to catch this ball right here. Safety can't get over the top. He beats him on the release right off the snap, and Aaron just puts it right into that hole there.
He gave Adams the thumb just down. So that's the nonverbal communication, that they have. And Davante knew that once he cleared the corner, that it was going to be a hole in there because it's a form of cover two. When you look at the two deep safeties, if you go too far, you run yourself to the safety. You have to throttle it down, catch it right there, and get the necessary yards for the first down.
In the win over the Texans, Adams had 7 receptions for 91 yards, and he closed the game with a touchdown from Aaron Rodgers.
So on this play, you got Davante in the slot, okay? I've seen this play so many times. This is just a spray fade right here. Like, he knows this guy's going to sit down right here, and it's going to open up all that real estate for Davante to go to work. And again, when you look at this play, the corner's playing inside leverage. They're going to take this slant away right here, which is fine. Davante is going to take it outside right here. And as soon as Aaron sees him, bam, right there and clear, now he's got all that real estate right there. All Aaron's got to do is just throw that ball out there to an open patch of grass and let Davante, look, his hand's in the air way before he gets into the end zone. He knows it's going to be a score. They've run that play so many times together in Green Bay. It was just basically rote memory right there.
When they go empty, it draws the slot player gets the safety. Right, so the safety has to come up and get somebody. That was Petrie,
yep.
Right? Which you talk
mismatch.
You talk a mismatch,
That's a
right?
safety.
And Aaron found the mismatch, right? And the mismatch take place because they put him inside. So you got to try and find a like body, understanding that the safety was in form of cover one, trying to help everybody. Everybody pressed up. You lose at the line of scrimmage, no help.
Coming up, we're going to hear what the Jets are saying about their upcoming trip to the desert and their game with the Cardinals.
Coming off of their 21-13 win over the Houston Texans last Thursday night, the Jets are trying to use that momentum to propel them into their matchup in the desert against the Arizona Cardinals. The Jets scored on all 3 of their possessions in the second half and are trying to use that performance as a launching pad for their offense Sunday.
Well, we just got to remember what we did in that second half. Execution was good. The details were good. We had like 9 MAs, I think, in the first half, and 3 or 4 in the second half. So we used to always say anything under 10 is a good game. You have 70 plays, 60 plays in the game. You'd like to be in the single digits in MAs. We were almost double digits in the first half. So it starts with the mental part of it. We got to be prepared. Got to be ready for all the different little looks we're going to get, little checks and adjustments. Second half, we handled that a lot better.
For the Jets defense, stopping the run will be an emphasis. The green and white led up 106 yards on the ground to Texans running back Joe Mixon, but only surrendered 15 in the second half. This week, the defense will line up against the Cardinals' number 6 rushing offense, led by running back James Conner and quarterback Kyler Murray, who has the 3rd most rushing yards this season among quarterbacks.
That is where they're hanging their hat right now. Arizona's going to run the ball, and then they're going to run the ball again. And they don't care if you stop it, they're going to run it again. And it's been the strength of that team, in my opinion, right now. Their willingness to just keep running it regardless of the outcome. To play the brand of football that we want to play and to win like we know we can win with the talent that we have in that locker room, we're going to have to play the run better. There's an element of style to me that, great defenses are violent, they're physical, they play the run well. So we need to play it better for that. And 2, we need to give our offense more opportunities. When we don't stop the run well, we're limiting time of possession for them. And I believe with the weapons we have on offense, the more ops they get, the more points they're going to score. So we just got to give them the ball more often. So what better week to prove who we are defensively than to go up against an opponent like this that is leaning on the run as hard as they are and is running the ball as effectively as they are.
Someone who is familiar with Murray is Jets edge Hassan Reddick. Reddick, who had 8 pressures last week in his second game with the green and white, was drafted by the Cardinals in the first round in 2017 and played with Murray for 2 seasons in 2019 and 2020.
Kyler and the back 6, Connor, they're just going. They're doing their thing. They're definitely, what makes the offense go. Kyler, he's a tremendous talent. But always have been, always thought that of him. He's not a statue in that pocket. He feels any type of pressure, he's going to run. He's fast, he has quickness, and he's small, so he's shorter, so it makes it that much harder to get him down. And then James Conner, he's going crazy. He's running the ball very, very well. But I always look forward to a challenge. I always love going out in AZ and just, seeing those familiar faces and getting to play against the guys.
This will be an interesting game this weekend for the New York Jets as they look for their second consecutive victory against the Arizona Cardinals. Gentlemen, let's get into our great debate presented by HCL Tech. The Jets' most impactful in-season move, Bart Scott, will be?
For me, it has to be Hassan Reddick. When you talk about, if this team's going to go anywhere, it's going to be because Hassan can close the show and be able to free Quinnen, on the inside, because now you can't double and triple team him because now you have somebody on the opposite side that you have to account for.
He's got a half a sack in 2 games, Baldy. A number of pressures against the Houston Texans. 50.5 sacks the previous 4 seasons with 3 teams, including the Cardinals. Where are you going to go?
I think we saw it last week in Davante Adams. We saw the trust that Aaron Rodgers has in Davante. We knew that, but then we saw it on the field. 4th down and 2, where'd he go? He went to Davante. To close the game out, he goes to Davante on a spray fade, puts the game on ice. I just think you're going to see Davante grow in this offense in tough situations. 3rd downs, red zone, 4th downs. Like when you've got to possess the ball, maintain it, Davante helps you do that.
All right, 2 guys who I think are immediately reaping the rewards of these 2 acquisitions, Quinnen Williams, Garrett Wilson. Quinnen Williams, 28 interior pressures the last 5 games. He has 5 sacks. And how about Garrett Wilson? He leads the NFL in receptions with 60 and 663 receiving yards, Bart, 3rd.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's coming together. It took a little longer than we thought. To Baldy's point, what Davante's arrival does is gets favorable matchups because you have to pick your poison. So he doesn't have to carry the number 1, cornerback for the opposing team and the safety over the top every time. There's ways to kind of, formation him open and get him matchups that's favorable to him, and he's taking advantage of it.
Don't go anywhere, because coming up, we're going to have our game day predictions.
This was presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
Let's get into our game day predictions presented by the New York Lottery, starting with you, Bart. Marvin Harrison and Garrett Wilson will each have a touchdown catch Sunday. The Ohio State products each have 5 touchdowns on the year.
No, I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson, yes. Marvin Harris Jr., no. I'm hoping that this is a game where body types match up, and I want to see 2 slender men go against each other and maybe 2 sticks together stars a fire. You talk about Sauce and Marvin Jr.
James Conner will have more rush yards than Breece Hall.
Yeah, I would go yes with that one because I know one thing about the Cardinals: they're committed to running the football. Sometimes the Jets get pass happy, and I don't know how this game will take, but I know Breece will get his touches and he'll affect the game in any way. Through the passing game or the run game, James Conner is not as much as a receiving threat as Breece Hall.
I'm on the record for saying no on that. I think Breece Hall is going to have a big game. How about the Jets will hold the Cardinals to fewer than 125 rush yards?
One run from Kyler Murray can destroy that. He just has that ability. You don't know. So I'll say they can still win this game easily, and the Cardinals can still run for 125 yards. So I would say they'll still do that, but they'll limit the big plays, and those are the plays that hurt you.
What do you have to say about that?
I'm just saying, until they do it, to Baldy's point, that doesn't mean that the Jets lose the football game. But I think that, Kyler Murray can add to that. We've struggled with quarterbacks being able to get yards. We have to make sure that we have edges. Don't run past the quarterback depth because Kyler Murray make you pay, right? And you can lose him back there. And when he get on you, he on you.
Final thoughts here. The Jets are 3-6. They're looking for a second consecutive victory. You got the Cardinals 3-game winning streak. They're looking for a 4th consecutive win. And this is a team that is feeling itself right now atop the NFC West.
Well, they are. They're 5-4 in first place right now, and they deserve to be there. And it's a confident team, and they play hard. They're scrappy. They've only played poorly in 1 game this year. One thing I know, if the Jets are going to win this game, the Cardinals aren't going to give it to them. They don't turn the ball over. They don't beat themselves. So the Jets have to go play a solid football game to beat a solid football team, and I think they will this coming Sunday.
What's the key on the road here for the Green and White?
Get off the field on 3rd down and touchdowns in the red zone, not field goals.
Well said. We're going to have to see if the Jets run their record to 4-6 in the desert. Enjoy your football weekend.